shoulders.
A group called Voice for the Voiceless spearheaded that conversation, and the next one will be on December 1st. Rifle season for deer hunting opened today, and TWRA hopes a deadly disease will not creep into our state. You might remember last year, at least 1,300 deer died from a disease called EHD. Morgan, Scott, and Hancock counties were hit the hardest by that, but this year, TWRA is more focused on a different disease that's even more deadly. Here's Grant Robinson.
For hunters and conservationists, the spread of chronic wasting disease poses a threat to Tennessee's deer population. The disease disrupts the animal's central nervous system and kills every deer infected. So far, Tennessee hasn't had a deer with the disease, but the threat is imminent.
Virginia, Arkansas, and Mississippi have all detected chronic wasting disease in the past few years, so it's inching its way closer to here.
In years past, if hunters traveled out of state to hunt in areas with CWD, they couldn't bring back their kill without going through a thorough cleaning process. This year, TWRA expanded those restrictions.
To make things simpler, we feel like, and to help people understand just how serious the threat of chronic wasting disease is, if you go hunting outside of Tennessee in any state in the United States or into Canada and you bring back any of those cervid carcasses, they have to be properly prepared before you bring them in.
In the final stages of the disease, the infected animals lose weight, drool excessively, and have unusual behavior. But it takes about 2 years for infected animals to show those signs, so a hunter could harvest a deer that looks healthy, but still spread the disease if the carcass is not properly treated.
No hunter's going to go out there and deliberately try to bring back an infected animal and spread that disease or introduce it into Tennessee. We realize that, but you could